regression, um, a useful extension of linear regression is the case where y is a linear function of two or more independent variables. For example, y might be a linear function of x1 and x2, as in the familiar formula here, right? This is our formula that we have been using last time. Y equals a sub 0 plus a sub 1 x1 plus a sub 2 x2 plus e. E is an error. Such an equation is particularly useful when fitting experimental data where the variables being studied is often a function of two other variables. For this two-dimensional case, the regression line becomes a plane. Now, as the previous cases, sa previous na to nga topics class, the best values of the coefficients are determined by setting up the sum of the squares of the residual. That's our SR, right? The summation of our equation yi minus a sub 0 minus a1x1 minus a2x2 squared from I equals 1 to n. And after uh, differentiating this main equation, we can have this another set of matrix form. We have the n, we have the summation of our x1i, okay? Another, we have our summation of our x2i. And here, summation of our x1i, x1 squared, and then the x1i and the x2i. We have also here the x2i and the x1i, x2i, and the x squared or the x2 squared. And for the constant, we have the summation of our yi. For the second row, we have the summation of our x1i multiplied by yi. For the third row, it has summation of x2i multiplied by our yi. Now, for the multiple linear regression, we have two sets of x and one y. Now, we have here a problem. The following data was calculated. Okay, don't mind that first, okay? Kay mo man ni siya ang final answer. So we have here x1, x2, y. Use multiple regression to fit this data. Okay. So from here, we need to use the multiple linear regression to fit this data class. And our what they call this? Ang atong output must be in the form of the equation yi minus or I mean yi sa to plus a sub 1 x1 plus a sub 2 x2 plus e. Okay, this is our final answer supposed to be in a form of y equals a sub o plus a1 x1 plus a2 x2. Okay, in that form we need to have that form, so we need to find a sub 0, a sub 1, and a sub 2. Okay, now to find that, guys, we need to make use of this matrix. Let me just copy it. Okay, that one. Okay. Now we have our n. N na to is pila ka book points, right? Or data points. So that's 6. Am I still audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's 6. Okay. Hold on, be. Ano na lang. Let's try to check first if nata tanan. So n nata kani, we need to find it first. Okay. So we have here x1, we have x2, and we have our y. So that's 0, 2, 2.5, that's 1, that's 4, and that's 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, 2 for our y. That's 5, 10, 9, 0, 3, 27. Okay. Okay. That's for the x1, x2, and y. And we need to have first the summation of our x1. And that would be, pareho ko calcu.
16.5, ma'am.
Okay. So that's 16.5. How about x2i?
14, ma'am.
How about for our um I mean y?
54, ma'am.
54, ma'am.
5, 4, ma'am. 5.
5, 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now for the x1 squared, that would be, so that's 0, that's 4, that's 6.25, that's 1, that's 16, and that's 49. And that would give us 76.25. Okay, we have here already. Now next we need to find x1 I multiplied by our x2i. So that's 0, that's 2, that's 5, 3, 24, and 14. And that would give us 48. Yeah, we already have this. Next, we need to find x2 I squared. So that's 0, that's 1, that's 4, 9, 36, and 4. And x2. x2 squared, that's still 54. Sakto ba ko?
Yes, ma'am. Sakto, ma'am.
Okay. Not any. We have also our yi. Next, we need to find x1i, yi. So that's 0, that's 20, 22.5, that's 0, 1 times 0, 0, and 12, and then 27 times 7, 189. And that would give us 2435. Follow? Still following class?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now for this last, we have x2i, yi. Okay. That's 0, 10, 18, 0, 18, and 27 times 2, 54. 20, 30, 30, 46. That's 100. Okay, we have all those values na para mambutang sa atong matrix. Okay. We need to do n, ano na lang B. N is 6, summation of our x1, that's 16.5. Summation of our x2i, that's 14. And then summation of our x1, 16.5. Summation of our x1 squared, that's 76.25. Naka-follow ra ba? X1, x2, that's 48. And x2 summation, that would be 14. x1, x2, that's 48. And x2 squared, that's 54. Right? We have our full matrix here. That's a sub O, a sub 1, a sub 2. And we need to have our constant summation of y, that's 54. Summation of our x1, y1, 243.5. And last one is x2y. Right? Kompleto na class. And we still gonna need to use the Gaussian elimination. Okay. Copy the reference. So that's 6. 16.5, 14. Okay. And we need to find new R2. Yes. So may LCM ni 6 of ni 16.5. If we cannot find it sa very least, ato i-try o multiply silang duha. 6 times 16.5. They have LCM of 99. So let's do 16.5 R1 minus 6 R2. Okay.
Miss na 66, Miss.
66.
16.5 times 4. 66.
Okay. Okay. So 66. So that would be sorry. 11 R1 minus 4 R2. Okay. Kinam ni 11 times 6, 66 minus 4 times 16.5. That's 66 times 0. Okay. And 11, hold on. 11 R1 minus 4 R2. We have next 16.5 and 76.25. I have the answer class. Negative 123.5.
Yes, Miss.
Do we have the same answer? Okay.
Same.
Next is 14 and 48. That's negative 38. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Mm. Next class, we have 11 times 54, 243.5. That's 380. Kuwak mo sa'yo.
Saktora, Miss.
Same ra.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So we're down to our R3. What's the good equation for our R3 para ma-zero siya?
7 times R1 is minus 3 times R3.
Okay. So, unsay common list or unsay tawag ni LCM nila?
42.
Okay, 42. So that's 7R1 minus 3R3, right? So that would be okay, 7 times 6 minus, okay, that's 0. Next, we have 16.5 and 48. That's negative 28.5. Sakto ba, class? O point pila man?
Negative 28.5, Miss. Saktora, Miss.
Okay. Next, we have 14 and 54. That's negative 64. And 54 and 100. 78. Same na ba tag answer?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Okay, so we're good with this. So the last one is for this one. Okay. Copy. Okay. New equation for our R3 para ma-zero si second column row 2. Row 3 there. What's our new equation? As sa LCM na 16.5 o 28.5. Okay. What if 16 times 50?
One is 3R2 minus 13R3
3 R2
minus 13R3. Ang kuan kay 370.5.
317
70.5.
370.5 ilang common.
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
ma'am.
Okay. How about you try 313.5? Nabay common na doha. But either way, kanang gyapon na ma-simplify naman na all throughout the sino ba ni computation. So let's do 313.5 kay mas less siya sa 370.5. So 313.5 na
Saan nagikan, Miss?
ang
313.5.
manong akong pagkuha sa 313.5 dong kay ako siyang manumanuhon o unsay common nilang duha list nila nga common. I tried to solve 16.5 first kay by 15
Dili day R2 na
nag-divide na ko
reference, Miss.
og ha?
Oo, ma'am. Kasi pangutan na po.
R2
R2
ang
ang
Saan
reference.
na?
reference.
R2 man ang reference, miss.
Ang
Ang
reference mo, ma'am,
R2.
R2 or
Yes.
Yes.
R1.
Akong gitan-aw kay R1 ug R3. Sorry. Nabuko. Sorry. So, LCM pila? So, atong reference is
370.5.
370.5.
okay. Bandit o maliban. Alright. 370.5.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So, that's 370.5. So, the equation is 3. Sa tayo niyo kanina? 3 R2
3R2.
3R2,
minus
miss.
minus
13R3,
minus.
miss.
Okay. 13 R3. Okay. So, 0, 0. We have our R2 as negative 38. Oops. And our Y, that's negative 64. Sakto po kung itanaw. That's 718.
Yes, miss. Sakto ra, miss.
Okay. So for the other, we have negative 380 and 78. Negative 2154.
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Okay. So we can, oops, do this. 71882 equal to, delete, 2154 So atong A2 is
-3, miss.
-3. On top,
Yes, miss.
you have our A2 as -3. Next, we can solve our A1, -123.5. A1 minus 38 A2 equal to -380. Pila man siya class. Itong A1 would be 4. Am I still audible?
Miss.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have 6A0 plus 16.5 A1 plus 14 A2 plus 54. So that would be 6A0, 54 minus 16 times 4 plus, no, minus 14 -3 divided by 6. So A sub 0
Miss.
would be,
Dili na apela ng 0.5 sa 16.5, miss.
pilong. Times 4 minus 14 times -3 divided by 6. So that's 5. Okay. We already have our A2, A1, and A sub 0. Makakuha na ta sa equation. Y A sub 0, 5 plus 4x1 minus 3x2, which is kihatags sa reference. Alright. Naka-follow ra ba ang tanan?
Yes, miss.
Okay. It's the same process with our polynomial regression using Gaussian elimination class. So this is our final limit. I'm sorry. This is our final equation. Now for the next, we need to find our x. Asan naman eh? We need to also find our xy. Sorry. Xy, x. All right. We have the formula still of SR n minus m plus 1. And we still need to find our ISR, right? Okay. So for the SR, arin na lang ako ibutang. Unsa man itong SR? That's yi minus y bar squared, right? And ang atong y bar, pila atong yi gani? 54 divided by 6. So, y bar is 9. Okay. Now let's do some table.
Dili na sa ST, miss.
What do you mean?
Ano na equation?
ST,
Katong
sorry. SR, mo to siyang yi minus a sub 0, right? Kalutaw na ko good. Okay. Okay. Now, finding the SR, let's try to find if makita na to. Asa man na ko isulat. Dari na lang class. Yi, unsa yung formula sa itong SR for the multiple
miss y I
linear
minus
regression.
a sub 0 minus a1 then x I kasi a1 day yun, times x I1 minus a2 x 2 I square.
Ano? Okay. So for our SR, okay. Okay, let's solve it for the, ako na lang yung kopyahan. Okay. So yi minus a sub 0 minus a1 x1I minus a2 x2 squared. For this row, pila may answer? So, pila man na class? For our first row, pila niyo makuha? Paano makuha? 0?
0, miss.
Pila? Ano na to, tagsa on ba? So that's 5 minus, pila mo na tong A sub O? 5. 5 minus 5 minus 4 times 0 minus plus na ni kay negative 3 man. 3 times 0 squared pag yun. So therefore,
Zero na na, miss.
0, 0, 0, 0. Sakto ba, class? O nasayop na po ko.
Yes, miss.
Sakto.
10 minus 5 minus 4 times 2 plus 3. Sakto ba plus? Yes, plus 1. So this is 3, 8. So that's negative 5. 5 minus, sakto ba class?
0 gyapon miss.
Okay. Okay, this is 9 minus 5 minus 4, 2.5 plus 3. Okay. Kani. This is 6, 2.5 times 5. Negative 10, so that's minus 4. 4 minus 4, that's 0. Still 0.
0 gyapon
This
miss.
one. Okay, so 0 minus 5 minus 4 times 1 plus 3 times 3 squared. This is minus 9 plus 9, so this is 0. 3 minus 5 minus 4 times 4 plus 3 times 6 squared. This is 16, this is 18. So that's positive 2. Negative 2 plus 2, that's 0. Next, 27 minus 5 minus 4 times 7 plus 3 times 2 squared. 6, 28,
Zero gyapon,
22.
miss.
22 minus 22, that's 0. So therefore, atong SR,
0 ma'am.
0. Ito nga ito ni B. Okay. Atong SR kay 0. So solving SY, X 0 divided by 6 minus 2 plus 1. So atong SY over X,
0.
okay, 0. Solving for our next. Ano yung next is solve? R squared. Sakto ba? ST minus SR over ST.
Wala ka ST, miss.
Okay. So, muna to siya ST. Yi minus y bar squared. So, that's 5 minus 9 squared. 10 minus 9 squared. Sakto ba, class?
Yes ma'am.
16?
16
16
ang
na
una
siya.
ma'am.
Yan ka ni kay 4. 2, 1. 1 day. 4.
1 miss.
Morning, sir. 9 minus 9 squared.
0.
0. 9 minus 0 squared.
81.
81. Sakto ba, class?
Yes ma'am.
O sayop? Sayop pagkabutang pero 81 gyapon.
81 yapon, ma'am.
Okay. 3 minus 9 squared.
36.
In this one, 27 minus 9, that's 18. Sakto ba?
324, miss.
Then, summation of 458.
458, ma'am.
Okay. So we have our ST at 458. So R squared is 458 minus 0 minus 458. 1. Then atong R, square root ni R squared, square root ni 1 is 1.
1.
Okay. That's it for the multiple linear regression. Okay. So without further ado, hold on. Nakasabot ra bang tanan? Yes. Nakasabot ra ba?
Naka-follow ra miss.
How about the others? Sa mga girls?
Sabot ra, miss.
Okay. Now next we will be discussing is the interpolation. Okay. So for interpolation class, um, polynomial interpolation consists of determining the unique nth order polynomial that fits n plus 1 data points. This polynomial then provides a formula to compute intermediate values. Now, for this interpolation, we will be discussing some topics or subjects under interpolation like linear, quadratic, and the Lagrange. Okay, so let's start for this one. Okay. Newton's divided difference interpolating polynomials. So as stated above, there are a variety of alternate forms of expressing an interpolating polynomial. Newton's divided difference interpolating polynomial is among the most popular and useful forms. Before presenting the general equation, we will introduce the first and second order versions because of their simple visual interpretation. Now, first, we have the linear interpolation. The simplest form of interpolation is to connect two data points with a straight line. This technique is called linear interpolation. And this is depicted graphically here with this figure using similar triangles. So that's f of 1x minus f of function then function of our x sub 0 divided by x minus x sub o because I don't know if you're familiar with similar triangles. So this one here, f1x minus f of x sub 0, i-minus po niya sa corresponding x here. X minus x sub o. It is equal to f of x sub 1. Kani, this is the smaller triangle man, and this is the bigger triangle. That's the similar triangle nga theory. So that's f of x sub 1 minus f of x sub 0 divided by x sub 1 minus x sub o. And rearranging, we can have the f1 of x equal to function of x sub 0 plus, I mean, function of x sub 1 minus function of x sub 0 all over x1 minus x sub 0 multiplied by x minus x sub 0. That's the main formula for the linear interpolation. The annotation f1x designates that this is a first order interpolating polynomial. And notice that besides representing the slope of the line connecting the points, the term here, kaniba, is the finite divided difference approximation of the first derivative. Okay, so the smaller the interval between the data points, the better the approximation. Because smaller ang interval, gamay ra taong error. So therefore, mas nindot ang atong approximation. We have here linear interpolation nga example problem. Estimate the natural logarithm of 2 natural logarithm class. So that's ln using linear interpolation. First, perform the computation by interpolating between ln1 equals 0 and ln6 equals 1.791759. Then repeat the procedure but use a smaller interval from ln1 to ln4. And ln4 is equivalent to 1.386294. Okay. Now here, for the solution, note that the true value of ln2 is 0.693147 You can just input that in your calculator, then you can have those values. ln of 6, kani, ln of 0 is, ln of 1 is 0, ln of 4 is here, and ln of 2 is 0.693147 So, atong gibase here is ang ln of 2 or reference. Solution, we can use 18.2 na equation and a linear interpolation of ln2 from x sub 0, which is 1, to x sub 1, which is 6, to give, di ba atong formula is here. Atay sulat. Function, other there. Hmm. Formula is f1 of x is equals to function of x sub 0 plus function of x1 minus function of x sub 0. So that's x1 minus x sub 0 multiplied by x. So that's the equation. So finding f1 of x, ang atong x here, atong main x is 2, right? So, muna siya ang function of x sub 0. Function of x sub 0, that's, unsa may x sub 0 na to? Di ba 1? Right? X sub 0 is 1. So therefore, function of our x sub 0, so that's ln of 1. And that's a 0. Muna siya here. Next, we have the function of our x sub 1. X sub 1 na to is 6. ln of 6, muna siya. 1.791759 minus ln of 1 divided by x1, which is 6 minus 1. Okay, multiplied by our x minus x sub 0. That's 2 minus 1. And computing those, makuha ni na to nga answer sa atong f1 of x. Ang x is 2, which represents an error of 48.3. Di ba, ano naman to? Um, 0. True value minus approximate over true. 6931472 minus 0.35833519 divided by 0.6931472 multiplied by 100. Hello, go class. So that's 48.3%. Muna siya ang 48.3. Okay. Next is, ang gipangayo sa problem, then repeat the procedure but use a smaller interval from ln of 1 to ln of 4. Okay. Now still using the equation here, this one. So function of our x, which is 2, so that's f of 0. Atong new 0 here is still 1. So that's 0. ln of 1 is 0 plus L function of our x sub 1. X sub 1 na to here is 4. So that's ln of 4. Answer na is 1.386294 minus function sa itong x sub 0. That's 1 divided by x1 minus x sub 0 multiplied by our x, which is 2, minus x sub 0, which is 1. And that would give us 4.620981. And getting the error, that's 6931472.462091 0.6931472 multiplied by 100. Are you still there, everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 0.462091. And that's 33.33%. Okay. So, awakas, nagkagamay atong interval, nagkagamay pod ang atong error. Muna ang gi-prove sa atong linear interpolation wherein mo set ka og main intervals, use that interpolate through linear interpolation, and then repeat the procedure by having smaller interval. And that would prove nga mogamay ang atong error once magkagamay po ang atong interval. Okay, now that's for the linear interpolation. Next, we have here the quadratic interpolation. Okay. Okay. The error in example 18.1, which is the linear interpolation, resulted from resulted from our approximating a curve with a straight line. A strategy for a strategy for improving the estimate is to introduce some curvature into the line connecting the points. If three data points are available, this can be this can be accomplished with a second order polynomial, also called a quadratic polynomial or a parabola. A particularly convenient form for this purpose is f2x, function of our x, which is equal to b sub 0 plus b sub 1 times x minus x sub 0 plus b sub 2 multiplied by x minus x sub 0 times x minus x1. Note that although this equation might seem different from the general polynomial equation, 18.3, ang 18.3 kasi katong f1x, katong igamit baguhay lang nato. The two equations are equivalent. Okay. The two equations are equivalent. This can be shown by multiplying the terms in equation 13 to yield this one. B sub O plus B1x, ima distribute. Okay. B1x minus B1x sub 0 in here plus imo pa ni siya i-distribute here class kani. Imo sa ni-distribute, then i-distribute nimo ang imong na-acquire nga equation sa B2. And mo as B2x squared plus B2XO x1 minus B2XXO or 0 minus B2XX1. Right? Kay kung imo ning i-distribute sa x times x, that's x squared. X times x1, that's xx1 here. And in here, xo times x, that's x sub 0. Then xo, x1, this one here. Name mo distributan, tagsa-tagsa ang term of B2, muna na siya ang answer for this part here. Okay. Or it's the same for this f2x equals to sorry, f2x is equal to a sub 0 plus a sub 1x plus a sub 2x squared, where atong AO makuha by getting this B0 minus B1XO plus B2X0 X1. Okay, now for the A1, that's B1 minus B2X0 minus B2X1. And ang atong A2 is equivalent ra ni B2. Now, these two equation, the equation 18.1 and equation 18.3 are alternative, equivalent formulations of the unique second-order polynomial joining the 3 points. A simple procedure can be used to determine the values of the coefficients for b sub 0 with x equals x sub 0 can be used to compute. We have here, ang pagkuha po sa BO class is this one. Di ba natay main nga equation? Natay kani nga equation. Then iyang gi-collaborate or gi-coincide sa first nga equation nga atong gigamit here. This one. Okay. Asa naman to? Okay. And after getting this, equal siya ani. But ang pagkuha sa a sub 0, we need to use this. This and this for A1 and A2. Now, to get the BO, kay missing mo na si BO, B1, o si B2. This is the formula. BO which is the function of our x sub o, and ang atong b1, function of our x sub 1 minus function of x sub o divided by x1 minus xo. Now for our b2, that's function of our x sub 2 minus function of our x sub 1 all over x2 minus x1 i-minus nimo sa previous niya nga function f of x1 minus um f of x sub 0 divided by x1 minus x sub 0 i-all over na nimo sila tanan og x2 minus x sub 0. And B1 still represents the slope of the line connecting points XO and X1. The last term, B2, X min X, uh, the, the last term we're in B2, X sub 0 multiplied by um, X minus 1 introduces the second order curve into the formula. This one. Okay. O, di ba? Dagang kay formula. Okay. Now, class, we have here example. Okay, for quadratic interpolation. Okay. Now, fit a second order polynomial to the 3 points used in example 18.1. Katong linear ganina. So, atong x sub 0 is equal to 1. Ang atong x1 is equal to 4. Ang atong x2 is equals to 6. Now, for the function of our x sub 0, that's ln of 1, so 0. ln of 4, that's 1.386294. And ln of 6, that's 1.791759. Use the polynomial interpolation to evaluate ln of 2. So applying the 18.4 nga equation, balik ta. Here, this is 18.4, this is 18.5, and this is 18.6. Okay, be familiar with those. Okay, so BO is just a function of our, oops, BO is just a function of our x sub O. Atong x sub O is 1. So that's ln of 1. So that's 0. Now, getting B1. Function of fx1 minus f. So function of our x sub 1, this is 1.386294 minus function of our x sub 0, that's 0. Divided by x1, which is 4, and x sub 0, which is 1. And it would yield 4, 0.462091. Now for the B2 is uh okay, x1 x sunod f2110. Okay, so that's f of x1, f of x0, x1 minus x0 divided by, then all over x2 hangtod na x0. So that's function of our x sub 2, that's 1.791759 minus function of our x sub 1 here minus x2 minus x1. Next is manamang ka sa 2 to 1 ato na po kani 1 to 0. So 1 to x0. So here um kani class iyan na lang gyud diretso kay ang kani manggod B1 man ni siya, 'di ba? Tanawang formula. So iyan na lang gyud diretso here, okay? And divided by our x2 minus x of 0. X of 0 is 1. So that would give us negative 0.0518731. So that's for our B2. And since naa naman tay B1, B0, and B2, we can have the function of F2 of our X. Di ba naman tayo formula sa atong F2 of X? So, ito nga formula. Di ba? BO plus BO, nalimot ko. BO sunod kay 1. Parisa ni missing na ay 0. Sumpayan ni B2. Missing walay 0. Missing sakto ba? Sakto ba, class?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay. So, since na naman tayo B0, B sub 0, so B sub 0, so that's 0 plus pila tong B1. 0.4620981. Pila tong X? 2. Right? 2 man na tong X, di ba? X sub 0 is 1 plus B2. Oops, di na siya plus. Atong B2 is on negative 4 man. So that's minus 0.051871 multiplied by 2 minus 1 multiplied by 2 minus 4. All right. So F2 of X, F2 over 2 because X is 2. Palihog ko compute. 4.4620981 times 1 minus 0.0518731 times 1 times negative 2. 0. Para ba answer? 565658 443. So that's our quadratic interpolation. Ay, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, before I forget class, we still have this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. This one. Kani. We need to find this. Ano na lang, B? Para di ko maglibo. Are you still with me, class? Still alive?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, laban lang jud ta ni class. Pahalagdag ang formula. Okay. So, we need to do this one here. Okay? Naa naman tay BO. Dana tay B1 and what do I call this? B2. Okay. So, we need to solve our A sub O. A sub O is, what's our BO? 0 minus B1, 0.46. I can see. 4620981 multiplied by our x sub O. That's 1 minus plus the still minus because our B2 is on negative. So that's 0.0518731 multiplied by our XO1 multiplied by our X1 4. So AO would be AO would be correct ang answer class negative 66
six
0.
66905
Okay, 6695905. Okay, nanatay A sub 0. How about A1? So B1 it's 0.4620981 minus. So since this is minus and atong B2 is on negative, ma-plus na ni siya. Follow? 0.518731 multiplied by XO1 minus B2. Multiplied by X1, 4. Sakto ba kung isulat class?
Yes, ma'am.
Seven two 14635. Perhaps answer.
3-6 ako, miss. Ang last.
6 na ako is
3-6 at
Eh, 0.462098 sorry guys, masin na sa iba ko 0.51873 plus 0.051873 1 na day 1 Okay. Okay. That's our A1. And atong A2 equal naman ni B2. So that's negative 0.0518731. So nanatay A0, A1, and A2. Okay. So since na naman ta ana, makompleto na nato atong equation. So F2 of x. So that's a sub 0, negative 0.6695. 905 plus 0.7214636 and asan man x plus A2. That's minus A2. 0.0518731 x squared. Okay. Man ni siya atong equation in terms of collecting terms. In terms of our evaluation of algebraic manipulation, mo ni siya atong makuha f2 of x. Using this b1, um, b0, b1, b2. Okay. So that's for the quadratic interpolation. So, nakapatay Lagrange class for the Lagrange uh take this. Wait sakay magluto kay ko ng glass. Okay, for the Lagrange, I will be discussing that next meeting. Supposed to be next meeting mag-semi naman ang tato. But dili man
Makahilak
kayo sa
naman ni Miss.
that's why dili sa ako mag Lagrange class kay Lagrange samot daghan kay formula. Okay, so dire ta kutob sa atong unsa gini class. Hasta ako naglibo. Linear interpolation and quadratic
Multilinear.
interpolation. We
Lasa
have
ng
already
Lagrange, Miss.
discussed
Lasa ng Lagrange.
sa interpolation. Tanaw na to. Kung last ba ang Lagrange. Supposed to be class. Daghan jud kayo ang interpolation o ang least square regression. Ako ra na siya sitaw na gi-filter. Unsa Bisaya sa filter gani? Gisa. Ano pa na?
Giginagmay, ma'am.
Di pamilian, Miss.
Isaan, ma'am.
Kana gisaan, yes. That one. Okay, let's find out. Asa kutob ang interpolation. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Arita
Yes,
sa
miss.
content. Arita sa curve fitting. Curve fitting man taron. So, di ba? Least square regression, interpolation, Fourier approximation. Ambot ug maabot bitag Fourier approximation. Now for the interpolation class, sa least square regression naman na matag linear polynomial o multiple linear. Wala na ni nako gi-appeal si general linear least square o si non-linear regression. Now for the interpolation, kani sa Newtons mo man ni siya si linear o si quadratic kani. The next is that Lagrange. And then inverse. Let me see if ma-appeal na nako siya. Here. Ano ni siya? Kani. Wa pa tamo human ani. Newton's divided difference interpolating polynomials. It's the same with the previous one. Katong ato lang gibag-o nga gisolve but na siya'y katong gamito na katong taas kayo nga formula. That's for the um Newton's divided difference. Now, for the next, di na ko na siya apilon ang kani kay murag ubay-ubay na kaayo. Okay, maloy ko kaninyo. Now, in here, this is the Lagrange interpolating polynomials. And this is the main equation sa atong Lagrange. And ang pagkuha sa Li, di ba, mo man ang formula class na Li. Ang pagkuha sa Li, mo ni pagkuha sa tong Li. Okay? And under that, napod siya iyang formula. Kana. In second order, mo na iyang second order nga puting pagkataasa. Okay, this is the second order for the Lagrange. And this one here is the problem statement here. Mana yung mga formulas. So, di sa ta magtabi anang Lagrange class kay basin makutaw tanan ato utok. Okay? Please go. Okay, diha lang ko kutob sa linear interpolation in quadratic interpolation. So, sa atong Newton's divided difference interpolating polynomials. For next meeting, I will be discussing the continuation of NDDIP. Okay? And sumpayan na to og Lagrange. Okay? Class? Follow? Still there?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
ma'am.
Kakayanin class. Okay? So for the rest of the time, I think, wait, let me see if makahatag ko ninyo o activity slash quiz para natay pondo. Na ba tay pondo aside sa atong akong gihatag ninyo last time? Mo pa tay first no sa atong semi.
Kaduha na to, miss.
Mo pa ba?
Kaduha na to, miss.
Ha?
Kaduha na.
Duha na?
Ang una, miss, kay katong kuan. Katong sa balay gipabuhat. Ang ikaduha kay kato sa room.
Okay, okay. Ang katong sa balay ko unsa to siya? Seat work. Oh, seat work. Activity ra to siya.
TBT, ma'am.
Or
Sa inyo.
activity quiz. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. My God. Napaday siya bishop. Ah! 149. Hmm. Lisod man to nga part. Ay, mangita ko kuan class ha. Hold on, mag-search ko sa Google be. Hmm, I can find kompleto ba tanan? Class? Mm, wala mo kailangan yung exam. I will send it sa GC na lang klasa kung makakita ko mga sample problems here on my end. Okay? Then still, ibutang lang ihapon sa either yellow pad or bond paper nga long. Ha?
Okay, miss.
Okay. Kindly turn on your camera, please, for a quick screenshot. Mm. Rachel and Eric. Okay, sure.